Welcome back, everyone. Everyone. Welcome back, everyone, to Let's Talk About Sleep. We're going to talk about sleep. Whew, mess it up today. Today is part 2 of our Q&A. I don't know how many videos it's going to be. Probably 3 or maybe 4, depending on how quickly we go. But thank you again for everybody who interacted. And as I always say, these videos are for education only. If you like what you hear here, or if you had questions answered, please share this with your friends and family. Please click like, please subscribe, and let's get going. Okay, so on my trazodone video, the Cougar Cat writes, "Thank you for posting this. My doctor prescribed this to me because I'm having a difficult time with menopause. I hear horror stories about sleeping pills. I'm a receptionist, can't be acting weird. This video made me feel less nervous. My doctor gave me a 50 milligram pill. That's usually the starting dose. I'm going to see if I can cut them in half. I broke one in half and it was pretty easy to do." Yeah, Cougar Cat, this medication is not for everybody. I guess by the time this video comes out, you will have tried this. But yeah, I usually have people start off with a half a dose, which is very low, 25 milligrams, and they're usually easily to cut. And, I do that for 2 reasons. One is to get your brain used to this medication, but also for you to see, okay, this is not that bad, or it's going to make me feel very drowsy the next day. You'll know that after taking the 25 milligrams. So it's a good medicine. It's safe. I talk about it all the time. So you at least owe it to yourself to give it a try if it's been prescribed. Okay, on my delayed sleep phase syndrome video, Sherry writes, "Very helpful, thank you, welcome. I did not know this was a condition. My mom and I had this, and we would say we were just night people, or sometimes we were labeled as lazy for not getting up early." Yeah, that's a very, very common thing. Delayed sleep phase people, 1, it runs in families, right? So that's a good point. 2 is, it's not that you all have insomnia, it's that your clock is shifted. So trying to force yourself to go to bed earlier, it's hard to do, and that can make it harder for you to wake up in the morning, and so on and so forth. So good comment. Hopefully now that you know what it is, you can seek out a sleep specialist or go from there. So thank you for that. On my same video, Son's Tirade writes, "Anxiety makes it impossible, and I want my night hours over the weekend. I've been a night owl since I was very young. My dad is the same." Okay, so it's kind of same story here. "Sleep has made it impossible for me to hold a standard job. Easier to work for myself. There's time-constrained tasks that don't work with my schedule." Yeah, that's another thing with this. So a lot of times people with delayed sleep phase, they end up getting jobs or situations where they're allowed to come in later. Like, if somebody worked at air traffic control, right? They worked overnight. A delayed sleep phase person may love the job like that. Okay, or if you're working your own schedule or so, you can kind of make it so that way you're kind of waking up around 10, let's say, and then starting work at around 11 or 12 and working those 8 hours that way. There are ways around this condition, aside from the melatonin and sunlight we talked about. Some people just work their lives and their jobs around it. So hopefully that's you. Okay, on my advanced sleep phase video, Phil writes, "I have wife sleep phase. Whenever she's tired, I have to be tired." That's funny. Yeah, people typically have a little bit different sleep schedules, but I guess part of marriage is coming together. So thanks for that comment, Phil, my friend. SM on the same video writes, "Good info. Can you talk about sleep phase changes as we age?" Good question. What is normal? What is not? What to watch out for? Also, how sleep phase impacts Alzheimer's or dementia. So our sleep phase does not really change as we age. What happens is our ability to stay asleep does go down. Okay, so it's, you're not really going to go from somebody who had a, let's say, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. schedule, and all of a sudden it's going to go to 6 p.m. to 3 in the morning or so. You do see that. I mean, advanced sleep phase, you do see people kind of going to bed a little bit earlier. You do see that. But it's not that dramatic as I discussed, okay? It does happen, all right? But it's not usually a major dramatic change. And the fact of the sleep or the impact of sleep phase on Alzheimer's or dementia, the medical literature is very clear on this. The number one reason why somebody with dementia ends up in a home is because of their clock is flipped, right? So they go to bed or they sleep in the daytime, they're up all night. Okay, that's usually the number one reason why a family member has the hardest time taking care of them, because their clock is flipped. Okay, so two different things, two different scenarios, but just, if you start going to bed a little bit earlier as you get older, that's okay. But if you have dementia, that's, if you know somebody who has dementia, I should say, watch out for the flipping of their clock. Good question. Also in the same video, Nelsito writes, I have a type of condition which I can be asleep and have two or more dreams running into each other, and I find myself caught between sleep and wake. It was a very long thing. I would hold my breath in my dream. I have suffered all my life with this. Okay, so Nelsito, I'm not going to read the entire question here. This is an interesting thing you're reporting. It sounds like to me this honestly could be sleep apnea. All right, and the reason I say that is because when you have stoppages of breathing, sometimes people with sleep apnea, they'll have dreams where they're underwater or they can't breathe, right? Because actually that's what's happening in real life. But more so, it kind of pulls the brain out of sleep, and it kind of puts them into a half sleep, half wake state. So I would definitely get this tested. The other possibility could be narcolepsy, right? So I would definitely go see a sleep specialist, okay? And, you definitely want to have at least either an overnight test or maybe an overnight test and a MSLT or a NAP test, okay? So hopefully you get this solved, because it sounds like you're suffering. Okay. And then on my, this will be the last question, and then on my wake promoting agents video, Homo Unsapiens, that's funny, writes, Provigil made me drowsy. Why? Well, it's not so much, I hear this sometimes about caffeine, about wake-promoting agents, about stimulants, is that they make you tired, or they make some people tired. It doesn't work that way. It's not possible. It is possible that they don't do anything, right, so that the dose is not high enough, or the brain just doesn't, register with that medication, but that's not making you drowsy. What tends to happen, I find, is that people are very, very sleepy, and they take either caffeine or stimulant or a wake-promoting agent like Provigil, and this medicine is not doing anything to them because the dose is not high enough or whatever, and it's like the drowsiness is just there. The drowsiness is there. It's not that they're being more drowsy. I remember when I was in medical school, this guy would tell me that he drinks coffee right before bedtime and he can go to sleep. And he's like, it makes me tired. I'm like, caffeine does not make you tired. It may be that you're so tired because, in medical school and residency, we're sleep deprived, and the coffee just is not doing anything to you, right? So it's like, it's like a drop in the ocean as far as how much it can help. So that's probably what's going on here. My guess is Provigil is not the right medicine for you for whatever reason, and you probably would do better with a different medication. But again, it's not that these medicines are not it's not that they're making you drowsy. It just may not be working as strong or as good as they should. Okay, so think about that. You may want to try something else. So that's the videos for today. Thank you. Or thanks a video for today. That's questions answered today. Thank you for everybody who interacted. Keep them coming. If you like this video, please click like. Please share this with your friends and family, and interact. All right. Until next time, everybody. Sleep well.